It's better with me, bitches.
Hello and welcome back to It's Better with Brian. We're back and we're better than ever. And I'm here today with Rob Lawless,
How's
who
it
is the
going?
founder and creator of Rob's 10K Friends.
Yes.
Rob, what's up?
Not too much. How's it going?
Good. How are you? So last
Good.
time you interviewed me actually for your project. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing exactly?
Sure. So I'm spending 1 hour with 10,000 different people. And I always say to learn about their lives and see what comes of opening doors for no particular reason. But yeah, I'm just on this grand journey of meeting people and started it back in November of 2015. And since then have met over 1,540 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're spending time each day to meet with 10,000 people is the goal.
Yes.
Cool. How long do you think it's going to take you to get there?
So I think it's going to take like 10 more years from today.
Okay.
Or now. So it's been about just over 2 years since I started. In that time, I've met over 1,500 people. But I want to take it to like different cities, different countries, and in doing that, it'll slow the momentum a little bit. But I'm cool with that. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
it span the globe than get done in like 10 years or something like that.
Of course. That's awesome. How did you come up with the idea to start? So
So
obviously it has a lot more behind the scenes work than just going
Right.
up and be like, hey, like I want to meet up with 10,000 people. Like,
Right. So I graduated from Penn State in 2013. I know we're supposed to be rivals, but
nice. I know.
it's all good.
To
I've
you.
met so many Temple people now. But when I was there, I knew a lot of people from clubs and activities. So even though it was a campus of 40,000 students, it became very small to me. And I wanted to recreate that sense of community that I had in college out here in the professional world. So
Nice.
that was part of it. And I wanted to create my own life path. So I studied finance, did consulting after school, then did tech sales, but just wanted to do something that I could create. So started this alongside the tech sales job, then was laid off of that job, took this full time, and I've been doing this full time ever since.
Full time ever since. So, and you're not getting paid for any of this either. It's just all on your own. Like,
So I've started to have sponsors, like
Okay.
small businesses, and that actually started back in March. And it's really just they cut me a check and I put presented this month by so and so at the bottom of each post. So
how did you come up with that idea? Did someone DM you, and be, hey, like I want to sponsor you, or did you start reaching out to people?
that was
yourself?
me. It was like an idea that I came up with when I was in the gym one night, and in a perfect world, I figured I'd have companies like compete to sponsor. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not at that point yet, but if it was known enough, I would have companies like multiple companies wanting to sponsor 1 month, and then I could just go with the higher value.
Definitely.
But yeah, I reached out to actually, so one of the co-founders he was the COO of the company that laid me off. When that happened,
That's funny.
yeah, when that happened, he became the CEO of a company that spun off of that one. And I texted him and I was like, yo, sponsor my project.
And he was like,
And
yeah, I'll do it.
No, he was like, no, I don't want to do that. So
He said no.
yeah, and I asked him what he thought I would charge. And ultimately, I just wanted to see what it felt like to have a sponsor on the bottom of each post.
Yeah.
So
How did that make you feel? And he said no.
it was cool. I mean, he's a friend as much as he was like a co-founder of the
Yeah.
company. So I just texted him and said I wanted to see what it felt like. So we agreed on a smaller amount, and that's kind of how it started. And then in March, just in talking to people that I met with, they then wanted to sponsor me. So most of the sponsors that I've had so far are people who have been part of the project that have small businesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And now, so you've met 1,500 people. Is there anyone that you haven't met that you want to meet that's local to the area in Philadelphia? Because right now, I don't know if this came out earlier, but Rob is Philly based. So right now,
Oh,
he's
yeah, yeah.
Philly, in the Philly area, and then you're going out to LA the
Yes.
end of the month?
I'm going out to LA once the Eagle season is over. So the earliest I'll leave at this point is January 30th,
Okay.
and the latest is February 7th. So
So soon.
yeah, I'll be in LA like February 11th by the latest. So, but yeah, Philly people. I don't know. I
And
think-
why Philly too? Just because you're from the area, or
Yeah, so I grew up in Norristown, which is about 40 minutes
Yeah.
outside of the city, and I wanted to do something to get, I guess, put Philly on the map. And when I started it, I was working full time in the city, so for me, it was just a way of getting to know the people that existed around me. And now it's kind of like a thing where I have people from other cities and other countries that follow along, and for me, it'd be cool if they saw Philly and saw the people that I'm meeting with, or the shops that I'm meeting people at, and decided that they wanted to come visit the city because they thought that was cool. So for me, it's like I'm just proud to be in Philly, and it will always be a Philly.
It'll always be a part of your project.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where you kicked it off.
Right.
Now, after you get back from LA, or are you going to another city? So I know you said you want to go all over with this project.
Right. So my life right now, I know I'll be in LA for 6 months. So the plan is to be there February through the end of July.
Okay.
And then I have weddings here in Philly in August, so I'll come back for them. And then the plan is to stay here after that, get a place in the city, and then operate out of Philly. But I honestly have no idea what my life looks like after August, because it could be, like, an opportunity could come up in that 6 months for me to go abroad or wherever. I'm just kind of...
You could take a project abroad, too, take it to Spain or...
Yeah, so I'm kind of just going with the flow with the project, and it will expand to other locations as it's able to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now, with this expansion that you want to do, so it's obviously going to take a lot of time. You said it's going to take 10 years or so.
Yes.
Do you envision yourself getting another job in that 10 years, or you're just going to do this full time?
So the plan is just to do this full time.
Okay.
If possible, and like live off of sponsorships or something related to the project. Like I could see myself speaking about my journey and what I've learned and potentially getting income that way, or doing some type of freelance writing, because I'm always writing posts about the people that I meet.
So yeah, and then going back to like writing posts, what do you look for when you start writing?
It's funny because I think, so a lot of people, if they see my project on Instagram, they'll see a picture of me with who I met and then a post describing that person. And I think a lot of people think that I meet people to tell the stories, but I actually, like, I meet people to meet people so that we can see each other and be like, what's up, Brian? How's it going?
Yeah.
But what I look for, just a story in general that I can share with people. So if I hear a quote that strikes me when I'm chatting with someone, I'll remember that and then post that as like the opening line, and then try to either tell a story based on that quote, or sometimes it's just a summary of that person's life. I always tell people I'm interested in where they are now, where they were, and the in-between of how they got there. So
Cool.
For me, I just want to know about people's lives. And
Curious, yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you learned anything from these people?
Oh, yeah.
Anything about yourself that you learned from doing this?
Yeah, I've learned that I have a lot to be thankful for. So I've just talked to so many people who have come from different upbringings or different life paths than I have. And I come from a family where, like, my two parents are still together, still alive and happy. I have two older siblings. They're in great jobs. They're happy. Our family is tightly knit. So I've come to realize what a luxury that is. And it just comes from meeting people who've lost siblings or have lost parents, and knowing that they don't have theirs anymore. I want to appreciate actively mine while I have them in my life. So that's one of the major things that I think about. And I also always say, no one knows what they're doing with their lives. Like, I think a lot of times people think that everyone but them has life figured out, but no matter if someone's 50 or 60 or 30 or 20, everyone's kind of trying to figure out the next step in their life. And that has made me be really comfortable when I don't know the answers to what's next.
That's crazy. I've never thought of it that way, but I completely agree. Like, even I have no idea where I'm going to end up.
Right.
Or, like, just doing this stuff for fun. Like, who knows? Like, everything is always up in the air.
Right.
So,
and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's part of the fun of life. Like,
Exactly.
It's very fun, just out there, like, whatever. So, okay, how can people get involved with your project? So we've been hinting at this, like, Instagram thing. So
Right.
Rob's project is on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And then can you explain to everyone how they can get involved?
Sure. So the best way is to contact me through Instagram, just through a direct message. That's how most people find out about the project. They'll see a friend of theirs who had met with me and then reposted the picture, and they'll reach out. Like, one of your friends, after we met, one of your friends reached out. I was like, you met my friend Brian. I
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, just a direct message through Instagram. And that's kind of like where I keep track of everything. And I just go back and forth with people, schedule times, and then we meet up to hang.
And it happens.
Yeah, you know the process.
Yeah, I do know the process. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. I know this was probably a far drive out of the way, but I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to see where your project leads you and what happens in the future.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited to see where this takes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, thanks again.
Of course.